Angela Raspass, your marketing and mindset strategist, talking to you about how you build a purposeful and profitable business. Now today I'd like to talk to you about a mantra of mine which I call plan, don't plunge. I've spoken about this to a lot of my clients in the past, and it's such a typical thing that us entrepreneurs and busy business women do. There's so much going on in our heads. When we actually get to sit down at our desk and start our week, we have a tendency to jump into the most urgent task straight away. And as you're doing that task, you think of another and another and another, and suddenly you're immersed in the week and haven't had the opportunity to actually sit back and plan the most important outcomes for you. I want you to change that. This is a new technique. Well, it's not new, to be honest. People have talked about planning and how important it is for years, but you need to find the system that works best for you. I've read books, I've been to courses, I've tried online systems, all different types of things. But what works best for me, and I'd like to share with you, and perhaps it might serve as inspiration, is a very simple approach. On a Monday morning, the first thing I do when I sit down at my desk, and that's after I've dropped one child off at the bus stop and another one off at the train station and battled my way through the traffic here into my office in Sydney, is I sit down with a lovely little checklist. The first thing that I do is I reflect and connect back into the big vision that I'm looking to achieve with my business, and I write that down in the first area on my planning sheet. That gets me really connected back into the whole purpose behind my business, and it makes me feel focused as I move on to the next task. The next step is to celebrate last week. If you need to, if you're finding it hard to remember what went well in such a hectic week, have a look back at your calendar or your diary and pick out 3, 4 or 5 things that you feel really proud of. That's a great way to start this planning process, as it makes you feel I really am getting results and making a difference in my business. Once you move on from there, the next thing is to work out what didn't happen next week. Looking at the tasks or the outcomes that you had set for yourself, no doubt there's a few of them that you would have achieved, which is what you're celebrating. But there will also be ones that you didn't achieve, and it's really important to understand what they were and why it didn't happen. Helps you refocus again for this week. The step from there is then to schedule in what it is that you want to achieve day by day. Marie Forleo, a great mentor, says if it's not scheduled, it's not real, and that's absolutely true. We often underestimate how much time a task is going to take. Block yourself out, say 2 or 3 key chunks of time each day to tackle major tasks, and book those in Monday to Friday. Because every morning when you're coming in, before you plunge into your day, you're going to refer back to your plan and make sure that you're on target. Now, I'm not saying that things don't come up in the week that you have to deal with, that weren't necessarily on your list. But if you've got the major parts of your week planned and scheduled into your calendar, you'll find opportunities to slot in these little bits and pieces. If you do it in the reverse, if you only slot in things as they come up, then those big goals, those big objectives, and those real key outcomes that are so important to grow your business won't happen. Now, I'm speaking from experience here because I was definitely a plunger for a long time. There's one extra tip I'd like to share with you that I've also found makes a big difference to the way that I'm handling my working weeks as a multitasking, juggling entrepreneur. That's meditation. Each morning I had the horrible habit of rolling over in bed and checking Facebook and my emails first thing. Not a great way to start the day. I've found a brilliant morning meditation through a woman called Krista Jane, who is on the North Shore in Sydney, and it's called Start Your Day. It takes me about 18 minutes to go through it. It gets me so centered and focused and in a great spot so I can start my day with the positivity and the energy that we all need to get through everything on that to-do list. So those are just a few simple tips for you to start your week with planning instead of plunging, and I hope you find them useful. Now, as always, I would love to hear from you. If you can pop some comments down below this video, perhaps you've got some great tips to share on how you get your weeks more organised that other people watching and reading this blog will be able to get some value from. So thanks very much, and I'll talk to you again soon.